My Karen of a neighbor says she's entitled to my yard while I'm away. I'm 27F, and I live in a rather nice neighborhood near the middle. My neighbor, who we'll call M for entitled mother, has a large dog and a rather destructive son, who we'll call Ek for entitled kid. I have a pretty good financial situation, and I live alone because the house was passed down to me in the will. It's a pretty big yard, compared to Karen's yard, which is almost half the size. I have no gate for the yard, leaving it open for any pets/animals to come right in. I work from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., so I'm gone for a long while during the day. Karen is the type to do a lot of gardening, so she doesn't like Ek in the yard with all the tools. One day, she asked me if I would allow her son to play in my yard while I was at work. It couldn't cause any harm, could it? I accepted, but I did tell her that her son would have to be gone by the time I was back, and all went well until I got my first cat. Keep in mind, Ek would always bring the dog over with him to play. I named my new Ginger cat. Well, Ginger. Ginger loved to bask out in the sun with the Ek and dog, until one day I found that she wasn't outside. In fact, she was inside with a bite mark. I rushed her to the vet immediately, where she was treated and wore some sort of bandage wrap around her waist for the next week or so. I checked the cameras only to see Ek trying to move Ginger out of her general spot so that he could sit there, and she swiped at him, scaring him off. It seemed that Ek's dog did not take kindly to this, and the mark was not a bite mark, but a swipe from the dog. I presented this info with Karen, who denied it and said he's just a kid, and Ginny is fine. I reminded her that it was Ginger, then told her that neither her son or dog were allowed on my property again. She threw an absolute tantrum and told me that they should be entitled to the yard while I was away because after all, you can't just let it go to waste. I then reassured her of my decision, to where she said word for word, "Ma'am, you need to leave." I'm so confused. I'm considering my options, and I think small claims court is a bit too much for this. What am I supposed to do?